Live. Hey, y'all. Well, of course, I'm saying hey to those who are watching the replay. No one's in here yet. Come on in. I'm excited about this conversation that we're going to have tonight. And I hope that you all, whether you're watching live or the replay, leave with a better understanding, leave with new tools to help you in your journey. All right. We got one. Come on. This is my first time going live on multiple platforms, and I feel a little bit fancy. Oh, I'm live on my Facebook page because I wanted everyone to have access to this. I'm also going live in my group, Healing from a Mother Wound. And I'm also going live on YouTube. You guys, I have a YouTube channel. You guys can subscribe.
It's official.
Maybe I should put that link in my comments. Let me do that. That's a good way to use my time while folks are coming in.
Okay. Trying to share it on my Facebook wall now. There we go.
Oh, I'm live. That's so cool.
I remember when live first became a thing, and it was like, who goes live? And now it's like everybody can go live.
Yeah. Okay. And as you guys come in, share this, share. I usually don't say that because, I'm usually going live in my group. It's private. I can't say that. But now I can say it. Share this. Share it everywhere. This is so cool. I'm such a nerd, y'all.
I love it.
Okay. I'm putting my YouTube link in the comments, y'all. Subscribe. What does it hit? Like, share, and subscribe. All right. Let's get started. All right, Destiny, thank you so much for being here to share with us, to teach us new things. And if it's not new to you, maybe it's just a refresher, but I appreciate you being here. As the flyer says, y'all, Destiny is a yoga instructor, but I'll let her give her formal and official introduction.
So it's not anything fancy, but my name is Destiny. I am a yoga instructor. I currently teach at Nothing But Love and Wellness Spa here in Dothan, Alabama. And I'll go a little bit into my story as to why I became a yoga instructor. And then I also am advertising and data manager in travel and tourism with Mouse Partnership. I also have a podcast, A Piece of Destiny. That season will come out, season 3, which is wild, will come out this summer. And yeah, that's me. That's what
Wonderful. I love that. Oh, we got some folks on YouTube. Hey, this is so cool. That's incredible. Thank you. Fellow podcaster, fellow native of Dothan. We met, I believe, sometime last year, and I'm like, this girl is dope. This girl is bomb. I went to an event that you and Calencia Perry had, which was phenomenal. And it was like downtown Dothan, where typically the non-Black folks gather, but it was like a Sunday afternoon, and we were in this little area in the grass with yoga mats, and it was nothing but beautiful melanated women out there enjoying each other, promoting and cultivating sisterhood and doing yoga. It's like you don't see that every day, especially not in the South. I'm like, dang, this is really, really dope. And I feel like in general, our community, we're both out here in the Bible Belt, South Alabama. There's a ton of misunderstanding, misconceptions about what yoga is, what it's for, who it's for, why we do it, that kind of stuff. So I wanted to have this conversation because I have learned because of you that there is a connection to like what we go through as far as emotionally, psychologically. There's a connection in our body, and yoga, there are some benefits in regards to how yoga can help release those things. So before we deep dive, let us know, tell us what led you to become a yoga instructor. like a Southern girl like yourself, how do you end up doing this?
So I, in 2018, started my own personal yoga practice. Well, no, that was 2017, right after I graduated college. Started my own personal yoga practice, and then we all know 2020 happened, and that was a big shift in all of our lives. It was a traumatic experience that we are kind of currently still going through.
Yeah.
And so, on top of the pandemic, we also had us as Black people seeing our people being shot down, killed on a regular throughout that entire year and in previous years. It kind of has become our norm, sadly. Um,
Yeah.
so in that year of 2020, I kind of had a shift within myself of how I used to be very vocal and having tough conversations when it came to social injustice and racism. And heavily being in that, but 2020, I was burned out. I was
Yeah.
want to have any more conversations with people. I was just over it. And one of my kind of yoga mentors, she sent me a free Black women like yoga instructor scholarship to become a yoga instructor. And I was like, I'm going to do this because Black women, the Black community as a whole, we don't spend enough time in stillness and silence. We don't
Mm.
have space to just be
Say
still.
more. Stay right there, sis, because I think we need this. Like, say more about that.
We don't have the space and time to be still and sit in our emotions. And I realized that in 2020 with myself, I was constantly going and trying to help and fix, but not really sitting and feeling in what I was feeling while watching the news and feeling what was going on in my environment. And so by becoming a yoga instructor, I want to create space for us as a people to just sit still, be with ourselves, be in our bodies wholly, fully, confidently. It's hard to do. It is very hard to sit with yourself sometimes. But do that and provide that space for us to just be. Because you
Yeah.
be a lot. You're thriving and surviving and flying and fighting and you're constantly going.
Yeah.
Be in your body without any worries or concerns is a beautiful thing. And so that was kind of my full of like, I'm gonna be a yoga instructor, create this space, and this is gonna be my form of helping my community, my activism, whatever, um,
Yeah.
to do my part in the community for us to heal in any way that I can. Because it's yoga is a tool, as you said earlier. It's just a tool in our toolbox.
Yes. 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 Ma'am, you hit something we talking about stillness, because that is a thing, specifically for a lot of folks, but specifically and particularly for Black women. We stay busy. And I think a part of it becomes even a defense mechanism. We think, well, if I just keep doing, not only you said we don't have the time to sit still, but I feel like we refuse sometimes to sit still because we don't want to deal with what happens when we are quiet, right? When we can hear our thoughts and stuff starts coming up. And I think we're doing our because we're in survival mode. You mentioned that, we're just surviving. We think we're helping by avoiding and repressing and suppressing. But can you tell us can you tell us what happens when we just continually repress? Um, yeah.
So we have your need to sometimes you have to be very self-aware, and it's not always the easiest thing, but sometimes those things of I'm independent, I don't need anybody, or the self-isolation that you would put yourself in where you're like, I don't need anybody's help, or you're drinking a lot, you're going out, you're those avoiding where you're like, oh no, it's just a good time, but time when it becomes a pattern and those emotions just get suppressed down, two things can happen. One, you can just explode and let everybody have it, and not the most nicest or polite way or healthy way. And then
Mhm.
two, your body can have a physical reaction. I'm sure we all have heard the phrase or in the form of a phrasing. If you don't sit down, your body will make you sit down.
Yep.
When you're
Yeah.
exhausted, tired, and you're listening to the physical cues of your body, okay, we'll shut down. It's okay because it's all a physical reaction. It's a physical reaction. You may not feel it or think it consciously, but your body,
Mhm.
and at some point, it comes out. It's like eating your
Yeah.
own garlic. It seeps through your pores,
Yeah.
right on through. It went,
It's coming out
uh, some,
some kind of way.
yep.
It's coming out. Um, Man. So break down to us, what exactly is yoga?
So this is one of my favorite topics because we live in the Bible Belt. Um, and the usages and the conversations and the side eyes that I have gotten over the years when I tell people I do yoga, and now I'm a yoga instructor. But simply, the word yoga means to the connection between one person's body, mind, and spirit. It's
Can
discipline.
you say that one more time? Yoga is what now? I'm sorry.
Word yoga means to yoke, and it's the discipline and practice to connect a person's body, mind, and spirit. Now,
Mm.
to dive deeper into that, there is a practice of ancient yoga because people talk about this all the time, or oh, you're practicing Buddhism and Hinduism. That practice of ancient yoga is connected to religion and cultural context.
Mm-hmm.
I am not one to say it is not, because that is where yoga comes from. It is within the South Asian culture. We cannot disregard that because we wouldn't
Yeah.
have. Now, the modern context of practicing yoga, which has been westernized a lot, um, and is more so characterized with fitness and consumerism, and sometimes it's very whitewashed. Um, they're two very different things, and so
Okay.
you be for me. I tell people all the time: is your intent and is your practice what is that intent? Why are you wanting to do you want it religious and spiritual practice for you? And it doesn't have to be Buddhism or Hinduism. You can be Catholic. I'm a Christian. That intent behind your practice, your personal practice, that's for you. For you to decide. And for us to completely negate it, for me as a Christian, when I truly believe that God is the creator of all things, I don't think that's fair because it's
Yeah.
yoga is such a beautiful practice when you make it your
Yeah.
own and you set your intention about why you're doing it, who you're doing it for. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful.
I really appreciate you breaking that down. That is new information to me. Did not know the root word of that and the meaning of it, but it makes so much sense. And yeah, I appreciate you one honoring the origins of it, but explaining how how we use it does not have to be tied to some other religion. And furthermore, like you said, if God is the creator of all things, like this idea, and I've said this before in different settings, this idea, I know that's no disclaimers. Let me see what I'm going to say. We sometimes can be so fearful that we just start labeling everything demonic. We just label stuff, right? Out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's just as simple as a lack of understanding. Just ask the question. There's something so beautiful about curiosity.
Yes.
Yes, we should have boundaries around that. We should have boundaries around that. But I believe that when it comes to choosing to become the best version of yourself, whatever that means for you, and whatever context that means for you, maybe it's for you a weight loss journey, maybe it's mental therapy, health therapy, whatever that is for you, we can invite God into that space, into that journey, right? So as I'm being curious, as I'm figuring out new things, I can invite Holy Spirit, Lord, what's this about? What's that about, right? Acknowledging Him in all of our ways, and He'll direct our path, right? And you're just not about to tell me that everything is demonic. You're not about to tell me that me stretching my body in a certain pose is demonic. It just the math don't math, right? If, like you said, my intent is set where I'm trying to become one with myself, to become whole, to be healthy, right? Because we'll say in one breath that our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit. But the next breath, when you say, well, here's how you can honor your temple, nah,
Can't do that.
right? It's like, make it make sense. So I appreciate you saying that. And this is not so much to convince people. You can,
Yeah.
you do you boo. But I do appreciate you breaking it all the way down. That was powerful. Okay, so one more time. Yoga, yoke,
So
and
word yoga means to yoke and is the connection, the practice, the discipline of connecting a person's body, mind, and spirit. It's simple as that. You can
that's
get to different styles of yogas and teachings and different gurus and things like that, and it becomes a whole thing. But the beauty about yoga is you make it your own personal practice. I
yeah.
The teachings that I kind of go into and how I teach is yin, restore, vinyasa, and then BKS Iyengar. He was kind of the founder of using props in yoga and making your practice work for you. So straps and blocks and bolsters. And so you make your practice whatever in your body, what feels good at the end of the day. It's just that simple. It is just
Yeah. Man, that's powerful. And I see your question. There's a question that says, "What are the benefits of yoga for men versus women?" And we'll get to that when we start like unpacking how this connects to our healing. Um, can you help us understand what the connection is? Like, how is it that our I don't, and we don't have to get too technical here, but like when it comes to traumatic things we have experienced, um, how is our body carrying that, and where, like, is there certain parts of our bodies that's storing trauma more than others?
so simply, if you've ever had a panic attack or someone has scared you, um, you get poked. Like your body has a physical reaction when things happen. And so I feel like a lot of times when it comes to trauma, we there's a heavy focus mentally, which is important, but we forget about the body sometimes. Because even when you're not consciously thinking about it, your body have a reaction to something that happens. And it's different
Yeah,
for everybody. It can be stored in your chest, hips, your back. It can be stored where your shoulder. I hold a lot of in my um
same.
mhm. So
Every time I get a massage, they're like, "Ooh, girl."
a lot up there. Relax, breathe. Um, but it can be different for everybody where trauma and where you hold things in your body. I have noticed personal practice. I'm at sometimes balling my through teaching people that a lot of times a lot of trauma in our hips. We can do a deep hip opening class, and I've had crying. They're like, I don't know, I'm crying, and it's like
Mm,
releasing that because you may not realize you're breathing and you're stretching deeply in space. That tension is experience. You
oh
feel
man.
it, but that release, creating that space, releasing that tension causes a reaction, emotional, physically, because
Yeah,
you're up that tension that you've held there in your shoulders, in your hips, your back. It's
that
a
is powerful.
body connect. It really is.
And I want to just repeat that because I'm not sure how this is coming off on Facebook or YouTube, but on my end, it's a bit choppy. So I want to make sure that everyone's hearing you. What she was saying is that she's done some yoga sessions with folks where they do a hip release, and in certain movements, people would just literally start crying because like they're releasing, their bodies are releasing tension.
And
That
it's
is powerful.
experience. And like
That
may
is so powerful.
and that's okay. But you're finding that relief. We don't
Yeah,
give ourselves enough space to release sometimes. We'll
yeah,
go through something, we'll talk about it, and then we'll be like, okay, I'm over it. But have you really let it go?
yeah,
Because also, sometimes my class will just jump up and down.
yeah,
Kids, see, when you think about a little kid and they're expressing themselves, they don't have the word. They're moving, they're rolling around because they don't know to release it.
yeah.
As we grow up as adults, we forget to just move.
Yes.
Just release any way you can, whether that's screaming, shaking, jumping, dancing, yoga. Find that movement in your body to get it out, to have that. Yeah, it's
That's
necessary.
powerful. Man, that's powerful. Can certain can certain physical symptoms, maybe it's, chest tightness, back pain, whatever, hip pain, can certain things in our body point to the need for emotional healing?
I personally believe yes. Like I said, I am no scientist, and yoga is a tool, and I think it's a tool that should be paired with therapy and whatever you believe in God, the universe, whatever. But I personally believe yes, because like I said before, you can go through a traumatic experience with a big tear, and you can work mentally and think you you are over it, and then years down the line, something can happen. And it may not be a big thing, but you have a physical response. Your chest gets tight, you have a panic attack, you freeze, you flight, I need to get out of here. Whatever it is. And so I just personally don't think we can say no, there is no connection
Yeah.
to where we feel it, whether you're back there. I believe there has to be a connection there.
Yeah. I carry a lot of mine like here, like I've mentioned this a ton of times, but I've struggled with anxiety since I was a kid.
Mhm.
And man, on the onset of like an anxiety attack or a panic attack, it's like I cannot breathe. And something as simple as just like, okay, take a minute, exhale, inhale, exhale. And I find like, and when it's really, really bad, if I take a really, really like deep breath and I finally release, I'll just start crying. Cause
Mhm.
it's like, it's all, like you said, that tension is just being released.
Yep.
I'm like, Jesus.
Talking about your breath, I taught yoga on Tuesday to a group, and I was just reminding them we breathe. Breathing becomes very unconscious. Like we're just like I'm going throughout my day, and my breath is keeping me alive. But we don't take the time to pause and go
Yes.
to remind ourselves we are
Yes.
intentionally filling your lungs up, and then pushing that air out of you. That deep breath, it does so much good for our bodies. And my Pilates
Yes.
actually also let me know, to my ladies and guys, when you're intentionally taking those deep breaths, you're also working your like behind your core abs. So you're breathing deeply to heal yourself, and you're also working out. So take
All
those,
right.
know that until this week, take deep, deep breaths. Like it really heals you. Even
Yeah.
people annoying you, when your kids getting on your nerves, when you're like, oh, it's a good day outside, just be intentional to take a deep breath every once in a while, because I promise you, you'll feel better. I promise.
Yes, yes. And for me, I know it can be like off-putting to some because in certain situations, you be like, "What's wrong with you? Or are you annoyed?" It's like, no, no, no. I'm just trying to gather myself. Like, I can't breathe over here. I'm struggling. It's anxiety. Just give me a second. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So let's get into like the benefits of yoga. Talk about just like the general benefits of yoga, and then can you tell us the psychological and emotional benefits? And you've already been talking about a little bit, but I would love for you to like take a deeper dive in.
It's they go hand in hand, kind of the physical and the psychological, because for me in my personal practice, I always tell people when I first started yoga, it was a way for me to continue moving my body after I stopped dancing in college, just to have that movement and still feeling my body and working out. As I've gotten older, it's become more of a mindfulness practice, which that's simply what yoga is, because you're spending time with yourself, in your body, in your mind, and in your spirit. And so, whether you're going through movement and your intention is on breathing, that breath, as you move through the movements, you're spending time with yourself and you're focused on yourself. And you may be like, oh, I'm breathing to get the workout, but you're still focused on yourself. Whether you are laying in Shavasana or corpse pose, so you're just laying on your back, um,
Mhm.
that stillness. Because as I said, we don't spend enough time sitting in our body, our mind, and because that's so scary. The thoughts can be, but the beautiful thing about sitting in the stillness is you hear your thoughts, and then what I love to do once I get up, I write them down. What did I think? What did I say about myself? Was it true? No, it was not. So just having that body, mind, and spirit through your personal yoga practice, and it doesn't always have to be you on top of your head, you in a split with your knee behind your ear. Like, don't be deceived sometimes by what the media and influence push out about yoga. It can be a very practice. You just you're meditating the positivity that you believe in. So yeah, it's a full mind and body through
Yeah.
through the silence. Um, yeah, I could just
Mm,
keep going.
that's good. So one thing about you was saying, again to the stillness piece, I want to say this because it came to me, and I hope it helps somebody. Um, with yoga being such an intentional practice and you are being still and you do have your thoughts or whatever, I believe that a lot of us carry a ton of shame, even when it's only we know it's in our minds, right? But we carry a lot of shame, whatever maybe past experiences have come up or things you've said or done that you know you're not proud of, whatever those things are. We carry a lot of shame and guilt. But I always quote Brene Brown when it comes to this, when it comes to shame. Shame cannot exist if we just speak it. It cannot exist. There's a specific quote, but I don't want to jack up her quote because she's such a powerful woman. Look her up, but she talks about how shame can only thrive when there is secrecy, judgment, and silence. I think I got it right. Secrecy, judgment, and silence. But when we remove those things, or she says in a petri dish, right? You have secrecy, judgment, silence. But if you douse that same petri dish with empathy and understanding and even curiosity, it can't exist. So I want us to give ourselves permission to explore even our own thoughts and to release the shame. Because we all trying to figure this life thing out, y'all. We all trying to figure it out. And we're all doing the best we can. So don't be afraid of your own self. Don't be afraid of your own thoughts. Don't be afraid to sit with yourself. We're always pouring and giving and giving and giving, but you deserve to spend quality time with yourself as well. You deserve to know yourself well, and to love yourself well. And this is one of those tools that will allow that. So I wanted to speak on that because yeah, like we just, especially again, and I always emphasize black women, one, because I am a black woman, hello, um but two, because we suffer in a whole different way, and we suffer in silence, and we carry so much weight, and it's just like a lot of this stuff, if we could just like speak about it, get it out, um and build community, a supportive community around that, we'd be so much freer. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, y'all, I don't want to get preachy on here, but y'all, like, for real, whom the sun sets free is free indeed. He's already paid for our freedom. We're already free, but we have these behaviors and habits that keep us bound. And it's just like, no, let's tap into the freedom that he paid for on the cross. Like, let's tap into that. And this, I believe, is a tool that does it. I promise you, it's something about just like stillness is powerful. It's so powerful. And I can just even think and imagine when you were teaching us outside that time, at the event that you and Calencia did in Dothan. It's hot outside, but it was so just like peaceful, right? I wasn't thinking about, I mean, it was like little, you know what I'm saying, mosquitoes and stuff flying around, but like it was still like so peaceful, just sitting, and I don't know, and even like finding out like, oh, I didn't know I was that flexible, or oh, I can do this. It's just a powerful thing, y'all. So I just encourage you to explore it. Don't be afraid. Like, listen, we gotta kill that fear stuff. Because if you really start asking yourself why I don't like that, why I don't do that, whatever, a lot of times it just be straight up fear.
Yep.
Just try it. And if it's not your thing, you ain't gotta stick with it, but try it.
I always tell people you should, at some point in your life, and it's not always easy, and I have an unfair advantage because I was the only child, but enjoy yourself.
Yes.
No one else like you. You don't get another you. Enjoy spending time with yourself. Because it's
Yes.
beautiful when you get to the point, it's like, I don't need anybody. I may want companionship. I may want to spend time with people, but the beauty of just being by yourself and spending time with you and not anybody else, it's freeing. And
Allison Brittany Brown enjoys her company. You hear me? I be having dance parties, concerts, or just silence. Like, and it takes a second to get there. But yeah, it's powerful. And you have so much more to give to others when you're full, right? Like,
yeah,
all right, so I want to address a specific question. Are there different benefits, or are we affected differently, men versus women? Are there any differences there, or are the benefits pretty much the same across the board?
I believe just in general for people, the benefits can be different, because we all are holding on and dealing and experiencing and going through things, moving through life. I because we've been talking about us as a Black community. I think for Black women, the benefits are very similar. They can be very different because just going back to we are all holding everything and life is shaped in different ways. I think for men, yoga, which it is hard to get them, it is plenty. Come on, especially in the South. I've seen other like Black yogis on Instagram and stuff, and I'm like, come on, guys, I need more Black men. Um, but I think for Black men, what yoga can allow for them, similar to Black women, but is that space to not have to feel like they're carrying the weight of the world
Yeah.
or they're being judged, feeling whatever it is that they're feeling. Because if you need to be in yoga class, you need to yell. The beauty about yoga is you can release whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of Black men, they don't have the space, aren't giving the space, or don't feel comfortable to feel whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we see that like pent down, don't have any
Yeah.
because toxic.
Yeah. Toxic masculinity, right? Yeah.
I think it's just it has the potential, it does provide them to feel whatever it is without judgment or the concern or that makes
Yeah.
less less than or you know, that is the thing. I don't do yoga. Okay, but you can still you'll be 90 and
You should lean into that though. Like I think you should lean into that. I'm always encouraging folks to like do stuff. But like for real, you should like lean into that. I would love to see a space where Black men have, because one thing I love is this whole like plant daddy thing, like where Black men are embracing plants and being plant dads, and it's beautiful. I love to see Black men like embrace their softness, right? Like while they're still, like kingly and royal, but also like I got this plant, I take care of it, right? I would love to see a movement of like Black men doing yoga. So lean into that, girl. Like I'm sure. I mean, you start with one, but it'll build. But I think that would be lovely because our Black men do need spaces where they can, just like we need that. Our Black men for sure need that. They don't have spaces. Heck, even in their own friend circle, sometimes they don't even be knowing
right.
what each other is going through, right? So they for sure need those safe spaces where they can just be and they can just exhale. They deserve that too. They deserve softness and stillness too. You
Yeah.
sure do, Black man.
Yes, you do.
See, we don't do that toxic femininity around here. We love
Yeah.
our Black men. Okay. So where does one begin with yoga? Because I tell you, girl, I remember back in my active days. I remember I just got out of college and I moved to Utah, and I was trying to find a gym, trying to find my flow, because like, anyways, so I came across this yoga class. I'm like, let me see what they're talking about. These little white girls in here. What y'all doing in here? I went up in that yoga class. I was like, oh, this hard. I must have went to the doggone intermediate or advanced or something, but I was like, I thought we were just gonna be kind of like, saying, just a little stretch or whatever, a little stretchy stretch. But this is hard. So where do you begin? Where do you begin?
So I always tell people, first of all, yoga is for everybody, and then look at your own body type. Yoga is for everybody type.
Oh, I
We
love that.
yes,
Yoga is for everybody, and yoga is for everybody type.
so that from Jackie Stanley, she is a beautiful Black yoga instructor, who like changed the world. Yoga, but that is where I start. There's a lot of preconceptions that you need to be tall and muscular, flexible. That's not the case. You can start as simply going to YouTube, beginner yoga, Pinterest, Google, wherever, and simple yoga poses, butterfly, forward fold. Like there are so many simple poses. Child's pose, a lot of people say that is the resting pose that people love. Get a good stretch in your lower back, and relaxing. Um, so there's a lot of free resources, and I say just get started. Just
Yeah,
get
that's
just
good.
because a lot of times we're like, oh no, I can't do that because I look or I don't do, and it's that fear that we talked about earlier, and so we never do it.
Right.
But when you start doing it and you surprise yourself, oh, this feels good. Or if you're just laying,
Yeah.
it always doesn't have to be a physical practice either. You're just intentional mindfulness, and that's spending time with yourself. Whether you're laying in clothes on your back, you're sitting on your knees meditating on the word, quote, and affirmation, whatever it is, that is a practice of yoga. So just start. Wait for you and for your body and your just start.
Just start.
Just start.
That's the word for somebody. That goes beyond yoga, child. Just start.
Just
That's a
start.
word. Catch it. Somebody catch it, child. I love that. And I appreciate you saying that because everyone may not have access to a yoga studio or yoga classes. Maybe they don't have the resources for that. So I appreciate you saying like go online and go on Pinterest or whatever. That we have a ton of resources available to us.
There are a bunch of free yoga instructors on TikTok. Like it's so many good, beautiful, free, especially Black women. That's what has inspired me the most.
I love that. And back to this everybody and everybody type. I love that so much. Because that was my thing when I was again back to that class. I was like, this ain't for me. Like maybe this ain't for me. Um, but there are tons and I encourage you to like find yoga instructors or yoga social influencers, social media influencers that have your body type. Like if you're plus size, search out plus size yoga folks. Because it's a whole community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, whatever you're thinking, male yoga folks, find your representation.
And
Um,
type of yoga that you're doing. That is also you're not having if doing a vinyasa, just a quick little educational portion. Doing a vinyasa, that is a lot of movement, and you're going to build a lot of good heat in the body. And you're going to be moving up. Usually start kind of slower, speed up, and then you slow back down to cool down. Or if yin and restorative is your thing, where you with yin, you're stretching deeply. You do maybe 5 or 6 poses, but you're really feeling that stretch and you're breathing, you're holding them for a longer time. Cool. Restorative, if that's you, where you want to feel at rest, relaxed, and at peace in your yoga, go for restorative. And then, as I said earlier, with BKS Iyengar, he was the kind of founder of props and modification. Modify your yoga practice however that works for you. If that's with blocks, straps, bolsters, a pillow, whatever it is, yoga practice that body in your life. Don't feel confined to the pictures and the images and videos you see of what yoga is because we know
yeah.
you make it and what works. So yeah. That's cool.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Destiny. I appreciate you taking time to come and educate us. And now I'm even more encouraged, like to get into this again, because it sounds like something that's very beneficial. And again, I wanted to share this because of the connection to our psychological stuff. And as you all know, I created a group called Healing from a Mother Wound to help walk alongside people who have parental wounds, who struggle and have estranged or dysfunctional or just very, very challenging mother-child dynamics. And it affects you because you're a people pleaser or you're a high achiever and you are perfectionist or you have very, very rigid boundaries or no boundaries at all. These things show up in us in so many ways. And like she said, this is just another tool for you to add to your emotional toolkit and to take out whenever you need it. So please feel free to join the group and to get more sessions like these. I try to do these typically once a month, but I wanted to do this one where everyone could see because I want y'all to know that earlier in the year, I'd announced an event, my Healing from a Mother Wound workshop, brunch and workshop, which was initially scheduled to be Mother's Day weekend, but I postponed it because child, it was a lot going on in May. It was just early, it's too much was going on. So I postponed it to October. So the event will be October 1st, and Destiny will be there. She will be our yoga instructor. We're like, it's going to be a very interactive event. So no, you don't have to come in your yoga pants if you don't want to, but if you do, come in your yoga pants. We'll have a part in the beginning and the middle of the event where we will be active for a little bit and to just kind of, and it won't be an intense yoga session, y'all. Don't be afraid, the missionaries and evangelists. I want y'all shaking in your boots. Y'all, come on. But I did want to implement this in the event. I think will be very helpful because this can be some heavy stuff. Healing from trauma, healing from adverse childhood experiences, healing from heartbreak, even whatever it is, it can be difficult. It can be challenging. And I know that this event, while it's going to be fun and amazing, it is going to require us to do some work. It's going to be a workshop, right? So I invited Destiny, and she has so graciously agreed to come. So I wanted to introduce y'all to her so that y'all can get familiar with her face. And, between now and then, y'all can start going to yoga with her, all right? And then come to my event in October and experience it there. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Eventbrite link in the comments. You guys can go ahead and buy tickets. I understand we are like 5 months out, but save the date. At minimum, save the date. But I'm going to go ahead and put the Eventbrite link in the comments where you can go ahead and just grab your ticket. Grab your ticket. Hope to see you there. So Destiny, tell us again where you instruct, and then tell us other ways we can support you.
So I teach here in Dothan currently at Nothing But Love and Wellness Spa. You can message me and I can give you the address. Want to go through all that right now. And then over the next couple months, I'll be releasing kind of some digital yoga content, which is going to be new for me.
Ooh.
I'm going to do it just to people to yoga and kind of just show the side of yoga that doesn't to be strenuous or this big and be simple and just connect your mind, body, and spirit. So you can do that at just this.
So that one time, follow you where? At where?
Instagram, just Destiny O.
Just Destiny O. Let me put a banner up real quick so they can get it. Okay. Instagram at Just Destiny O.
Mm-hmm.
That's where she is on Instagram, y'all. And remind us what your podcast name is. We can be catching up on all episodes and looking out for the new ones.
Podcast is a piece of destiny. And it's simple as that on Instagram. And you can listen on everywhere you can find my
Piece of Destiny. All right, check that out too, y'all. And when you listen to the episodes, share those as well. So again, thank y'all so much for coming in. And I didn't read off all the comments, but you were getting some love, girl. People are saying love that and thank you and putting emojis. So it looks like people are being impacted and helped by this content. So thank you, girls, so much, Destiny, and look forward to connecting with you more. And of course, connecting on the event in October. So, all right, girl, you have a good night. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for joining. And if you're looking at the replay, I hope you enjoy this. But please share. Oh, and if you're on YouTube or if you're not watching on YouTube, head over there and subscribe, like, share, comment, subscribe. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Bye.